Welcome back, everyone, to another new, fresh episode of Tevora Talks. I am your host, Cash, and joined as always by my co host and partner in cyber crime, Mr. Matt Mosley. How are you, Mr. Matt Mosley? Long time.
Doing well. It has been a minute. So, yeah, looking forward to getting back into the seat here on this podcast.
Yeah, it's been some time. Looking forward to saying some fun stuff, sharing some fun stories. I guess a lot's been happening in the hacker world. Lots been happening for us, hence why we haven't put out an episode in a while. But good to be back. We're getting ready for some fun stuff ahead of us. We're gonna be at Black Hat in the near future. That's exciting. We're gonna be doing some live recordings on the floor, and yeah, it's gonna be an exciting next couple months over summer. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So look for us on the floor. We're going to be doing some interviews and doing some coverage. We're going to be giving away some swag. Should be good.
Yeah, it should be good. We have some actually really cool swag that we're creating. Matt, the marketing slash branding slash imaging designing guru, has come up with some cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's kind of fun. I think we should just kind of keep it low key. But if anybody's actually listening to our show right now,
we want to under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, under promise, over deliver. But if you're listening and you made it this far into this episode, thank you for listening and hit us up. Find a way to hit us up once that swag that we're making is ready. Maybe we'll send you out some stuff so you can be a part of the Tevora Talk swag gang.
Yeah, or hand it to you directly at Black Hat.
Yep, there you go. Come find us. We'll be somewhere. You'll see us with the green microphone, the hats, the cameras, the crew. We're going at it. But yeah, so I guess in the short time though, maybe let's get to it. What do you think?
Definitely. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. So a lot of stuff. I'm gonna say some of the headlines that we're gonna cover, and then we'll kind of just pick them at a time. So a lot of cool. I mean, I always like to say cool, but there's always some people that are really hurting on the other side of it. But so a couple things. Avaya, big company, right? They did voice over IP services. Apparently their licenses were being sold without them knowing, and that led to over $88 million worth of licenses being sold without them knowing, which is a lot. That's a lot of licenses.
That's crazy.
That's super crazy. And we'll get to the details of that. Next on our list. So Ukraine arrests cybercrime gang operating over 400 phishing sites. It's a lot of phishing sites. And what did that lead to? About $3.3 million of money stolen from about 5,000 victims. So
sad.
That's sad.
Especially the crisis that's going on over there and the way that this group was, trying to take advantage of people. Anyway, we'll dive into it a little bit later.
Prey on the weak. That's not cool. What else do we got? So US FCC commissioner. This is a new one. This is hot on the news for today. What do? They're asking Apple and Google to remove TikTok from the app stores. So TikTok's back in the news. It's they're trying to take it down, and this is not the first time they took it down. But let's see if it actually pushes through. And then what else we got? More hot topics.
Crypto news.
Yeah, crypto news. Then we're gonna go into the crypto news world. What is it? More than $100 million in cryptocurrency stolen from blockchain. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, from Harmony.
From Harmony, yeah. And I remember you mentioned something about there being a bounty now.
Yep.
That Harmony has offered out live on Twitter. Is say, hey, anybody can help us find out what it is, get us some intel, give you $1 million. So maybe we'll take some PTO and start helping the cause on that end. You never know. But yeah, I guess so. Some of those topics of the week, let's kind of dive into it. Let's talk about Avaya. I'm sure you looked into it yourself a little bit, but have you heard about this?
Yeah, so I guess insider threat, right? This is kind of one of the cream of the crop type stories here for insider threats. $88 million stolen from essentially legitimate software licenses, but they were pirated, right? So this insider was generating these licenses and then selling them to a reseller, and then the reseller was, obviously making their money off to the clients, off to their customers and stuff. But the three defendants, unfortunately, it was a husband and wife team, and then the reseller, all taken down. And it's pretty incredible that you would not only steal $88 million worth of software, but to keep doing it and think you're not going to get caught, and then on top of that, not use that $88 million to leave, to get away, to disappear. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's
I mean, what
crazy.
would you do with $88 million?
I mean, I have a couple ideas what I would do initially, but I think the bigger question is, because they're obviously funneling money, right? That was, I guess, the wife's role in this was to wash the funds as best as they could, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
Looping it,
funds though.
yeah, looping it through banks and whatever. But I feel like everybody said, like, what's my top list? I think I would buy a big yacht if I had that kind of, like, fu money laying around. But then again, it's like, you know, if you buy anything over a certain dollar figure, it has to be reported, right? The seller has to report it to the government.
In this country.
Yeah, in this country, that's for sure. Well said, well said. But yeah, I guess if they spun it into Bitcoin and crypto and they could do some, black market purchases, I think I'd buy my yacht.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, definitely would do something like that, but I would definitely use that money also to just disappear, right? Because you've committed this crime, eventually you're going to get caught, or I would think you would know that, but maybe not. I mean, most criminals think they can just keep doing it, I guess. But I mean, the fact that he used his account to generate these licenses and put them on a SD card, and then he was using other people's accounts so that he would kind of throw them off the trail that it wasn't him. I mean, gosh, dude, there's a trail right there to linking directly to you. There's only so many admins that can generate licenses. Eventually they're going to come down, let's say, even if it was 50 admins, they're going to go down the list of the 50 and they're going to get to you eventually. Right. Like, why didn't you just freaking take the money and run? I don't know.
yeah, man. I mean, I kind of feel like it's a little bit flaw on Avaya's end too, for sure.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. Yeah.
like 88 million. So what is the license that they sold? Let's understand that. So the voice over IP service is basic, right? Just like every kind of service that you can buy, there's always add-ons, right?
Yeah. It
Extra
was like some
features.
cloud service, I guess.
Yeah. So it's Avaya's IP office. It's a cloud-based on-premise collabo, right? And what it does, like the add-on will give you, extra, conferencing, IP calls, voicemail to email, et cetera, all like the
Yeah.
bells and whistles, right? So usually those cost a lot of money, and it says they can cost anywhere between $100 to several $1,000. And I'm sure they ripped them, sold them cheaper, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. But what I don't understand is on a buyer's end, right? If somebody obviously is like using all these extra services, that it
How did
should
they not
have,
notice it?
yeah, I don't know. Are there not like flags set up to on the database? Because that's all it boils down to, right? Something checks a database, and is there a flag there that says, has service, yes or no? Is there no auditing going on there? Say, okay, we've only sold, 10,000 licenses, but there's, 50,000 people with this license service enabled.
Right.
There's maybe some audit issue there.
Right. Because I'm sure there's like AWS infrastructure here somewhere, right? Or some sort of cloud infrastructure that Avaya is having to pay for. And, those numbers don't add up. We've got, 100 or let's say 20,000, instances stood up, but we only have 10,000 licenses. I mean, someone should have flagged that right away, right? I don't know how
Yeah,
long this went on. Oh,
for
I guess it
sure.
went on since like 2020. Is that right? Something like that. A couple of years.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, well, the via that IP office, I guess, was discontinued in 2020, and they're kind of converting it. But nonetheless, I mean, aside from like the flags in the database, one of the like premium features, like the thing unlocks, is voicemail. Voicemail takes up space,
Absolutely.
so accessing voicemail, listening to it over IP uses more bandwidth, right? So if you see, hey, we have a normal bucket size of 10 terabytes, now it's like 50. where'd the extra data come from, right? There should be something like average amount of voicemail space used per client. There should be some statistic there, you know. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. And beyond that, this IT admin, it's always boils down to the, insider threat of that one IT admin, privilege creep, right? Privilege
Yep.
escalation, getting his colleagues' accounts, opening those up. It's just a lot, right? The individual was Raymond Bradley Pierce of Tuttle, Oklahoma. Operating quietly, discreetly, like a ninja, but he got caught.
Yeah.
How did they get caught? Did they say how they got caught?
I didn't say that. I think there is a press release by the Department of Justice though that might detail that.
Hmm.
But the highlights were that they bought gold, silver, collectible coins, real property, and cryptocurrency.
Well, I mean, they kind of did it smart, I guess, but to try to convert their money into tangible assets a little bit, like gold and stuff. I guess you could bury that, hide it somewhere.
Yeah.
But of course, it's all gonna get revoked at some point if they find it all. That's the key question.
Yeah, there's an interesting book. I don't know how applicable it is nowadays, especially after like 9/11, but because I read this book before that. Uh, but it's called How to Be Invisible by JJ Luna. And I guess the guy used to be like a smuggler or something. But he talks about his book, like how you basically hide assets like from the government and stuff like that. And you set up LLCs and all kinds of like, corporations. And then you don't have a face or a name that goes with the corporation, right? You
Uh-huh.
can put it under attorney, and then it's the attorney client privilege. And so you put your house in like a corporate, you put all your bills in a corporate LLC, everything, your car, and all separate. They're all like, um, what's it called? Segmented, right? So that they're not connected. And so, I mean, that's one way to hide, I guess. I don't know if you still can do it, but
But
for
I'm
those
reading.
listening and taking notes,
Yeah, there you go. How to scam everyone 101.
it is a good book. I think it's only like $5 now because I think it's probably out of date a little bit. But
What is it called again?
How to Be Invisible
How to be invisible. Perfect.
by JJ Luna.
Maybe
He's
these guys should
updated
have
it
read it.
since. But yeah, let me see. It's on Amazon real quick here.
What's
Oh, it's like
interesting though,
18 bucks, brand new.
I'm reading this the DOJ's release on this, right? They're being charged with violating federal wire fraud and money laundering. That's really what they're charged. It's not stealing from Avaya. I don't know. Is that what it is? It's interesting.
Well,
It's all.
so
I guess it's always
from the
down to the
federal
government. They didn't
criminal
get their cut.
level, that's what they're charging him with. But then Avaya can press charges. And I'm not an attorney, but I believe Avaya can press charges on the civil side
I see.
for theft. So I'm sure they're going to get both.
But it's interesting. The government just cut steps in, like, wait a second, where's our cut? Oh, you
he,
didn't pay us? All right, we're gonna charge you first. And
which
then
the wire fraud might have been what tipped him off, right? They might have set off some alarms at that level, and
for
then
sure.
and
For
then the
sure.
DOJ started investigating. So
Well, good luck to Brad Pierce, Dusty
Dusty,
Pierce, and Jason Hines. Good luck to them. They're probably doomed. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
best of luck.
Best of luck. Best of luck. But
But
speaking of arrests,
yep.
Ukraine, they arrested the cybercrime gang, uh, operating over 400 phishing sites. Isn't that crazy?
it
400 is
it's
a
crazy
lot.
that they did that, but it's also crazy. You and I talked offline a little bit about the fact that the police are still operating and making arrests in a time of war where the whole country is just being uh, decimated. I mean, not the whole country, but obviously the borders and everything with this war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. I'm just amazed that internally this cyber police is still enforcing the rules and stuff like that. pretty incredible in my opinion. So,
Yeah, it's cool. Like I'm reading this article and I feel like it's always when people band together to bring these cyber criminals down. It's always awesome to see, right? So, in this case, took three efforts from several people. Here it's saying, the local police department, I can't say it right, Pechersk. Can you say that? Pechersk, Pechersk.
I cannot, and I won't try.
That's a hard word. I don't know what to do. But the police department there, and assistance from specialists at the National Bank of Ukraine. They kind of
Yeah,
band together. They brought these guys down, and it's pretty crazy, And phishing sites we talk about all the time. It brings down big companies. That's really, I guess, the key of it. And for the general public out there, people like I always use my parents as an example because technology, it advances pretty fast, and for them to keep up with it, it's kind of hard to understand, where do I trust. I see a pop-up, it looks believable, it's from my computer, it's asking for this stuff, and we always say, just don't click on anything, and trust but verify kind of
yeah,
situation. And it's always sad to see 5,000 victimized citizens, especially in this time of war and all
right.
that. Like,
And
gotta
not
be
only that, but the
careful.
subject matter of these phishing sites, right? These were set up to fake legitimate European Union portals offering fake financial assistance to Ukrainians trying to flee. Right.
That's
So it's just
terrible, man.
crappy that you're cashing in on these people's, bad luck of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then the fact that they stole $3.3 million, just outrageous. But this happens every time there's some sort of major natural disaster or crisis, or some, even a celebrity hitting the news. You Google that celebrity, and the sites are set up to give drive-by downloads and shit. It's just, I mean, stuff, sorry. But it's just really sad, and I'm glad that I don't have that criminal mindset to or morals. I'm glad that I have actual morals that allow me to not be this kind of um crappy human.
Yeah, crappy human.
I'll
That's
put
it.
it nicely.
For sure. For sure.
So,
I mean, they did it. Remember at the beginning of COVID, how many COVID scam sites there were?
yep.
COVID scam emails. Oh, your tests are in. You need to get a second shot. Apply for the booster here. Get your shots before everybody else. There's tons of those scam
They're
campaigns
still
going up.
still going around. It's the fake uh vaccine cards and everything. You can still see them on the dark web.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. There's a whole, in our threat intelligence platform, there's a whole dashboard dedicated to COVID scams. Not that
And
we need to track them, but the company that supplies us with that threat intelligence does. So
yeah,
shout
it's
out to
crazy.
Flashpoint.
Shout out to Flashpoint. You know what the bad part is? I think, over the, course and evolution of cyber war, fines have been all over the place, right? I remember there was a story that you told me where, hacker hacked the right account to do good, to find, somebody who was missing or kidnapped or something along those lines. I remember you told me, and that person who hacked intentionally for, the greater good, essentially got a pretty hefty prison sentence.
Yes. Yep. That was an anonymous hacker. I'm not going to go into details just because we've been told not to by
Yeah.
Tevora, but the victim was the victim in that case was a sexual assault victim, and the people that did it were basically getting off scot-free until an anonymous hacker got the evidence needed to not only charge them but eventually convict them of sexual assault. And those people got less time in jail than the person that got the evidence and handed it over to the police. It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Ridiculous. So,
Yeah, and like same with this case. Like these guys, they got arrested, facing up to 15 years in prison.
right.
Right? Seems reasonable, but at the same time, it says up to, which obviously that never means they're going to be there for 15 years, right? And for these people of Ukraine who are, fleeing, and lives are all chaotic as it is, to get their pennies or whatever they have left over in their accounts, taken from them, I feel
Yeah.
that's,
This could be life or death for those people. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Imagine how much pressure, stress, and anxiety that's creating for 5,000 people out there. And
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, the time for these like real criminals doing real cybercrime doesn't add up to some things. I feel like there's still need to kind of work on the consequences of doing cybercrime.
Yep.
But yeah, I
But at the
guess
same
slowly.
time, I mean, we want more heavier sentencing, but then we also want lighter sentencing, Um, there's been times like, for example, that hacker that, got the information and he got a heavy sentence. There's also been other times where, I can't think of his name right now, but the guy that created, or was co-founder of Reddit,
What about him?
Adam, Aaron something. Anyway, he stole like research papers, white papers, and was downloading tons of white papers, right, to hand them out to people to make information free. And he was being charged with like, or he was being threatened with like 10 years of jail time for basically downloading white papers, to give to people for free. And he ended up taking his own life because of the heavy threat that was coming towards him. It's like
Wow, that's
he
sad.
he wasn't hurting anybody. I mean, yeah, he was probably hurting some people that didn't collect money off those white papers, but I mean, researchers all the time say how they would gladly give you the information if you just ask for it rather than you having to pay for it through some site where they don't get money from it. So who knows?
Yeah, I
Anyways,
guess what's the takeaway there? If you're a hacker and you're trying to do good, just tell somebody first and get somebody's blessing and then go for it, maybe.
I
Call
mean,
your local
sometimes, right? So
enforcement
like after
or
9/11
something.
came this kind of new, they called it patriot hacking, where people were basically trying to help the US and they were doing their own kind of like pen testing against the United States, and then like, government installations and stuff like that, and then handing over the information, gladly handing over the information. And they found out real quick that there was no protections for that, even though they had, hey, I'm doing this for good, I haven't violated anything, I'm just showing you that this vulnerability is here. I don't know of any people that got convicted with it, but I know that there was no protections whatsoever. So I'm sure a few people got the book thrown at them for it,
That's
for
crazy.
trying to do good. So there are ways to do good. But yeah, it's definitely the Wild West when it comes to laws, in my opinion, right now with cyber. And it's been like this for a decade. Like the punishments don't match the crime
For
more
sure.
often than not. So
But I guess here's a good segue. Speaking of people
yeah,
getting,
speaking of our legal system.
speaking of legal system, people getting books thrown at them and releasing data. TikTok's back in the news. As we know, I mean, it's not any alarming update. TikTok harvests data for sure,
Right.
right? You take tons and tons of data, what they're using it for, where is it going? It's always like a we know but we don't know at the same time, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the FCC, they have renewed calls asking for Apple and Google to take down TikTok from their stores.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, this one, because they're claiming it's an unacceptable national security risk, right? And I believe because the the company behind TikTok is a Chinese company with ties to maybe the Chinese government. But I think researchers have shown that TikTok doesn't gather any more information than any other social network. And in fact, Facebook actually gathers more information than any other platform, but that's a US company. So we're not worried about that, I guess. Like, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Um, Facebook tracks you even after you've left the website, right? Because people have those login with Facebook on their websites, and all those little cookies and stuff like that. They can see everything that you're doing all the time. So I think Facebook's like the greatest invention by the US government. It's just my tinfoil hat.
But I feel like it's like you said, right? It's like who's the data in control of, and
Yeah.
if it's the U.S. government that has it, I guess that's cool,
Yeah.
right?
We're good.
We're good. But then TikTok right now they've surpassed monthly active subscribers, users, right? And that's the real key, right? How many people are actively still using the service? TikTok is about 1 million people active users. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And the company that started up,
You
they're
say a
called
million or
ByteDance.
a billion?
Um,
It's a billion.
it's a billion.
Yeah.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
$1 billion,
Yeah.
as Dr. Evil would say. But yeah, ByteDance is saying, hey, we don't share any of the user data with the Chinese government, which is like, okay, we'll take your word for it. But I guess the FCC won't take your word for it. Like, take this app down right away. So let's see if this one goes through.
Well, I mean, for example, like, yeah, you can say that, that's fine, but like you are in China, right? Where Chinese government's reach is pretty far. I mean, they can do whatever they want. And, just based on the stuff that we hear in the States, China can do whatever they want. And the government can do whatever they want there. So, I mean, yeah, you can say they don't have access to the data, but they can also go get that data if they want, or they already do have access, and it's just a lie. And I'll be honest, like, I'm not happy with any of the social media platforms harvesting my data. But at this point in our world, like, what else do you do, right? Like, you don't use those social media networks, and you don't keep in touch with your family members and friends and stuff like that. Like, it's gotten to the point where they've kind of got us in a catch 22, so.
Yeah, it's
And I
like
still think Facebook's way worse. Just my opinion.
Facebook is worse, man. I don't know. I think they're like you said, they're all bad in their own way.
Right.
Just I feel like we need a new movement of anti-social networking. You think that'll ever happen?
I think there was like Anonymous or someone was putting together some sort of network like that. I forget the name of it, but anyway.
Speaking of Anonymous, they're back at it. So Anonymous, they're holding, what is it? Vows to hold Terra, in parentheses, Luna, founder Do Kown accountable for U.S. Tether collapse. So this is kind of segueing into our crazy crypto crisis, crumble, crash that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, Global Hacktivist Collection Anonymous is promising to hold Terra co-founder Do Kown accountable for the collapse of Terra's stablecoin ecosystem. And this is their statement they released. Of course, when Anonymous puts out stuff, they do the really cool hype, video with
For
the
sure.
mask on.
Marketing
This
is on point. Yeah.
We're gonna take you down, right? But
Yeah.
But yeah, their statement, it says, Do Kown, if you're listening, sadly, there's nothing that can be done to reverse the damage you have done. At this point, the only thing we can do is hold you accountable and make sure that you are brought to justice as soon as possible. Man, like,
good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. The last threat I would want to receive that from, like, group is Anonymous. Like, I don't want the world's best hackers saying that to me, man. Just find a nice hole or rock, hide behind it, unplug yourself from life, and just hope they don't find you, or they're gonna crumble you, man.
Well, that's the thing too, is like this guy's livelihood is at stake too, because what company wants to hire a guy with a target on his back?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what they're gonna. Let's say they hold him accountable, fine, but how? Where are they gonna ask him to pump $500 million back into the crypto economy? I don't know what their goal is there.
Yeah, I don't know what the end result is. Harassment. But I think they'll
Yeah.
win in that case.
I mean, I think Anonymous will definitely, make this guy's life a little bit chaotic. That's for certain. But
Yep.
I don't know what he's gonna do. Maybe he's like one of those people that just pull the strings and we don't know, and he has to, like, stop pulling the strings. I don't know. They're saying he's scamming billions of dollars away from retail investors.
I mean, if they get that information and they can hand it over to, law enforcement, then maybe they can bring up charges or something. I don't know.
I mean, they're
But
saying
best
that,
of luck.
yeah, best of luck for sure. For sure. It says, like, multiple governments are also doing their own investigations on the guy.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So it's like a joint effort, but government's investigating you one thing, but then anonymous coming and saying, "We will take you down. There's nowhere you can hide." That's a little bit more scary, man.
Well, just like in the last story I was just talking about with the sexual assault, the police they investigated and they found nothing wrong, or they found not enough evidence supposedly. And then anonymous came in, found the evidence, handed it over, and those two guys got convicted of sexual assault. So let's see anonymous do it again.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what they got, man.
Yep. I'm sure they'll come up with something. I have no doubt.
But speaking more on the blockchain, this is a story you kind of brought to my attention. I didn't know what was happening, but this is pretty insane too, right? Harmony. I'll let you kind of run with Harmony and what they
Yeah,
do
sure.
and what's happening. Yeah, go with it.
So the Harmony team, which built out the Horizon Bridge, which was supposed to be like a crypto service for Ethereum, basically like 105, I think it was 105 million dollars worth of Ethereum tokens were stolen from the Harmony Bridge. Uh, so Harmony Bridge is like a token bridge between the Harmony blockchain, Ethereum network, the Binance chain, and Bitcoin, right? So it's supposed to be kind of this like intermediary service where you can exchange the cryptocurrencies quickly and swiftly across those different networks, crypto networks.
Got it. Okay.
Or blockchain networks. And so, yeah, they had $105 million worth of Ethereum tokens stolen, and now they're offering $1 million bounty. So 1%
Wow.
of what they lost, they're offering. And so some people are actually calling it like an insulting amount, right? Like, you're going to give us this low ball 1% bounty and expect us to do all the work for you. Kind of funny. But it's also the first time that we've seen something like this, I believe, where a company, at least in the crypto space, blockchain space, has offered a bounty in kind of like a revenge fashion to go after the hackers behind the heist. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But this kind of goes back to our first discussion about what do you do with all that money? Like, you and I talked about, so you've got 100 million or $105 million in cryptocurrency. Like, how do you move that? How do you use it and disappear and you not get caught? Right? Because I think we found lately, at least in the last or recent, that the blockchain's not as anonymous as we thought it was, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I think more people are trying to, as much as people like to believe that all cryptocurrency is used for bad, it's not. But there is that percentage out there that still use it for nefarious activities and money laundering, I'm sure. And there's ways to watch it, right? There was like that one cryptocurrency exchange that was used for everyone would put their money in, and then it would come out like in different addresses and all that good stuff. So you didn't know whose money came in from where and where it went and how, it disappeared. And then they got taken down. I think I want to say it was during the, that pipeline, Colonial Pipeline.
Colonial, yeah, maybe.
I think there was like a cryptocurrency exchange there because they used it for the ransomware.
Yeah, I remember it was one of them where they were able to reverse it too and get the money back. I think, was that
Right.
it?
Yep. I believe that was the same instance. Yeah. So now we do know that there is ways that, or companies that do offer the kind of washing of the cryptocurrency, but also the fact that the government can reach in, take the money back and identify, where it came from and all that stuff. So it's not as anonymous as we once thought it was. So, but
Yeah,
anyway, I just don't know what you do, how you
what
move
do you do?
$105 million. And I'm curious if our listeners know, because I mean, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, even if you watch it, I don't know if you've seen Ozarks recently or ever watched that series, but that's all it's about, washing money for the
Right.
drug cartels. So, I mean, I guess if the drug cartels have figured out a way to spend it, then I guess it's doable.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe just got to spend the money outside the US in maybe like a non-US friendly country that's like okay with you giving them however much US money you want. They'll take it. Hey, what do you want? You want a jet? All right, no problem. Send us $1 million. We don't care.
Preferably a country that doesn't extradite,
Yep.
which I don't know
Venezuela.
how many of those are worth living in, and how many exist. So,
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you could be Snowden and go live in Russia, and then now the whole world has sanctions against you. You can't even get McDonald's. I don't know.
According to Google, there's 7 non-extradition countries to consider. There's
That's it.
Morocco, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, UAE, Andorra, and Qatar. There you go.
Oh,
There you go. You can go to Qatar for the World Cup, spend the 100 mil, come back, or maybe just stay there.
I mean, yeah, some of those are not bad. I actually was thinking it was not going to be,
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean,
UAE
doesn't like the
UAE is pretty
United
cool.
Arab Emirates, like they say they don't extradite, but I bet they do.
Maybe they don't extradite. Maybe they'll just keep you in their own prison, which is probably worse.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't want to be in like a foreign prison anywhere.
If anybody's out there willing to be interviewed, we can keep it anonymous, but I would be interested to know how you would get away with the perfect crime. Asking for a friend again. So,
Yeah, asking for a friend. So, friends out there, if you know how we can help our friends, let us know. But beyond that, I guess, yeah, that's like the wrap up for, I think, this most recent hacker news in the world for the past maybe like week or two of what's going on out there.
yep.
We'll definitely come up with more stuff. If you're still listening, thanks for listening. Thanks
Yeah.
for supporting myself and Matt here. It's fun always to do the show, bring you guys some stuff, chit chat about it. If you're going to be at Black Hat, let us know. Hit us up. We'll definitely love to meet up with you all over there, talk to you guys about some cool stuff in the hacker world.
Yep.
And if you're still listening, make sure you hit us up. We'll definitely send you some fun swag. We send some cool swag boxes out. So
Yeah, shoot us an email. Let us know what parties you're going to at Black Hat. Let us know where you'll be so we can be there as well. Yeah, I like crashing parties. Always good.
yep. Or you can find us at the roulette and craps table. We'll
Absolutely.
gamble it
Blackjack
up together.
as well.
Blackjack. We got the blackjack king over here, apparently. Vegas, watch out. We're coming to clear you out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it. And yeah, keep listening. We're gonna keep providing details as we get closer to Black Hat. But right now, yeah, just hit us up, especially if you want to be interviewed. If you got a cool story or you're working on a cool project, you got a cool new tool that you're going to be releasing, let us know and we'll get you a spot on the podcast.
Right on. And with that said, thanks for listening in. Don't forget, like us, subscribe us. Ladies and gentlemen, I need 1,000 subscribers so I can get our CEO, Ray Zajmal, on the line with us. So help me get there. And with that said, I guess that's all for me today. Any final words, Mr. Mosley?
Nope. See you in Vegas.
See you in Vegas.